Good morning, good afternoon, ni hao, salamat siang, konnichiwa, bom dia, buenas tardes, buongiorno, bonjour, li Günther, salam, good tag. I'm very glad that you're joining our today's webinar on OEKO-TEX Standard 100 organic cotton. We're going to have in the next 45 minutes a lovely presentation of my colleagues and followed by a Q&A session. I'm very glad, but first of all, I would like to thank you for your contribution, being a valuable customer of us for so many years. Some of you who are joining are customers from us for more than 20 years. So big applause from my side for your trust, because what we're going to talk now in the next few minutes, it's very much about trust together to develop our beloved textile industry further. So thanks for your time and stay please online. Some more people will join. We already have 100 participants, so it's lovely to talk to such a great audience. Of course, my favorite part is being on stage and see you and to interact you, but we also use the new medias. With Teams, there's someone behind. You won't see her. It's Jenny. She did all the great work to send you the invitation and also is behind the scenes to ensure that we have a smooth webinar. Many thanks to Jenny. Big compliment. And if there is a mistake, we are very sorry. Sometimes blame Microsoft, sometimes technology is also for us a challenge. But I hope we tested everything. You're going to have a good experience with us. So for myself, I'm the group CMO of TESTEX and OETI, so of the group. So we are two strong textile testing institute in the industry for many, many, many years or decades. But on that in a second, a bit more. My passion is supply chain. My passion is textile. I'm now 20 years in the business, and from a buyer, but also now from the certification side, I have seen many, many factories around the world. I was very honored to travel around the world and see your factories. So I'm glad to share with you our expertise of our team. And with your Q&A at the end, we also get some of your most important questions back. In 2018, I wrote an essay about cotton, the sustainability paradox. I tell you 5 points what was in the management summary. Luckily, we have OpenAI ChatGPT, and it summarized my very long summary down to 5 points. Cotton has a long capitalist history, presenting both opportunities and challenges. Please switch off your microphone if possible, not to interrupt the others. Thank you very much. So I start again once more. Cotton has a long capitalist history, presenting both opportunity and challenges. Globally, it has shaped agriculture, but has caused increasingly environmental problems over the last 20 or 30 years. Life cycle assessment, for instance, is one hotspot to identify problems in the supply chain. The past 7 years or the past 10 years, I wrote it in 2018, the agribusiness industry makes farmers dependent. It became increasingly speculative. Consumers are not adequately informed about the supply chain, even though over 2/3 of cotton is genetically modified. In India, we all know it also leads to monoculture and people are suffering from it. Organic cotton promotes sustainability, but doesn't guarantee fair working conditions. Some of you might know in 2014, C&A analyzed the organic cotton industry. There was more organic cotton was produced, was sold than was ever been farmed or planted. We all know that organic cotton is only about 1% of the worldwide industry. My fourth point, and then I will lead to my dear colleagues, non-GMO cotton, we call it about 29%, it was that time, offers, for instance, more independence and sustainability. New irrigation system can improve water usage, but cotton, and that's also my passion, remains an important fiber with a significant impact on the environment and textile industry, despite increasing use of alternatives of man-made fibers. So it's cotton is for me it's a sustainability paradox. But now, why OEKO-TEX? Oh, just lost my mouse. Why OEKO-TEX? I mean, OEKO-TEX gives you the trust in the sustainability. OEKO-TEX enables everyone to make responsible decisions and protect natural resources. That's what we have to give to the next generation. Driven by sustainability and dedication to transparency, that was always our aim. Our work is grounded in proven science. A lot of people, and also Joseph and Mary Rose, you're going to meet in a second, they have all this background. I'm a marketeer, I'm a textile lover, but they have the real expertise. So why now OEKO-TEX organic cotton? So just in short, organic cotton from OEKO-TEX certification offers verification from farm to product. Products bearing this label have been manufactured without the use of GMO, tested for pesticides and other harmful substances. So please welcome Mary Rose. To start with, hello Mary Rose. She has been with us for more than 15 years. She's the product manager of organic cotton, but also of Standard 100, even Eco Passport. She has been in the industry for more than 20 years. And on the other side, she works with TESTEX. So one brand is TESTEX, actually works for TESTEX Group, but we also have Joseph. He's from our OETI colleagues. Joseph, please join us. He's the market development manager, and he has more than 30 years experience in our beloved industry. Hello, Joseph.
Everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and we will catch up just a bit later, and we can discuss in detail the organic cotton.
Thank you very much for being with me. So a few remarks before I start, just an introduction about who we are, TESTEX and OETI remarks. So we have about 45 minutes ahead of us. If I didn't talk too much, but I just did, I saw. Sorry about that. Stole some time, followed by 5 to 10 minutes Q&A. So if you have questions, please use the Q&A section. I don't know where I need to point, maybe here or here. They will be answered at the end. All questions which are not answered due to time will be followed up in a Q&A document or in a direct matter. Of course, if you're now OETI customer or you're a TESTEX customer, you can also direct it to either your individual institute, actually location. I mean, sorry, maybe you call in from OETI Bangladesh or from OETI Turkey or from TESTEX China. So of course, also our colleagues locally can help. Of course, there will be a follow-up email with the recording for next Monday. So you also get an email about that. So I start with my first slide, and just to give you a short introduction, a very short one, who is TESTEX and who is OETI? We have, you don't see it, but here we have a very long tradition in textile, TESTEX. We have been founded in 1846. Luckily, there was much more than banks in Switzerland and chocolate at that time. There was silk. Zurich was one of the 3 hubs of the silk industry in Europe. And of course, a lot of you know, we had a lot of kingdoms and we have a lot of big empires in Europe, and silk was, of course, one of the very important goods in Europe. And so Zurich was one of these hubs. There was also Lyon and there was Genoa, the 3 hubs in Europe. And our founding part was Seidentrocknungsanstalt Zurich. That means silk conditioning company. So we dry the silk to ensure how much silk you get and how much water. Because already that time, more than 150 years, actually more than 178 years ago, people were always very smart. And the traders along the silk industry, and that's where our offices are, we are along the silk industry. From China over all the Southeast Asian countries, over India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, from Africa up to Europe, we are along the silk industry because that's where our industry and where our customers are. That's where you are. So already that time, the traders were smart, and sometimes they were just pouring a little bit of water over the silk so they could earn more than actually they should have. So already TESTEX that time, we were looking into how make things transparent, because this is our most important goal. Now I leave out a lot of steps between 1846 and swap directly to 1993, because this is the interesting part. We became a member of the OEKO-TEX Association, and it was actually founded in 1992. TESTEX also joined 1993. Actually, the OEKO-TEX Association was founded in Zurich together with TESTEX and 2 other institutes. And most important, the other institute was OETI, today's member of the TESTEX. They had the concept of Standard 100. Some of you might know that, most of you will know. So it was OETI who had that concept, and together we formed with 17 other institutes, we formed this OEKO-TEX Association. We are present in more than 70 countries. 2013, just quickly, there was this merger with OETI and TESTEX. They merged together. I work for the TESTEX group, but it doesn't matter who you're talking with. We have 2 state-of-the-art labs. They are in Zurich or in Vienna. We have the locations around the globe according to the map. That's where we are here for you to understand your language, your problems, being close to you. That's TESTEX, and this is OETI. And in 2018, another important move for us, we became also a member of CDHC. And actually, even today, we are, since a bit more than a year, we are a ATP accredited training provider. So also please check the website on OETI and also on TESTEX. There are a lot of trainings which we offer in several countries. We have more than 10 accredited trainers, which will offer also if it's towards CDHC. But now I hand over to Mary Rose, who has more than 15 years experience with OEKO-TEX and also with Standard 100, and was a creator of organic cotton. And she will lead you now to the first part of our OEKO-TEX industry. Thank you very much, Mary Rose.
Thank you, Mark. Just a correction. Joseph will be presenting first, and then I will follow. Thank you
very much.
Joseph.
So please, Joseph.
Okay, we will start now at the new regulations. In the following slides, we will explain why the step to change organic cotton not detectable as starting from the 1st of April 2025, which will not longer be available as OEKO-TEX Standard 100, why it was necessary to make this change in the first place. Next slide, please. So the present system shows that OEKO-TEX Standard 100, GMO not detectable, or relied on certain things. First of all, we accepted third-party certifications, and they are taken into consideration when applying for the standard. Then we looked at a proof of business transactions, and we checked if business transactions took place. That means somebody could only certify OEKO-TEX organic cotton according to Standard 100 if he officially purchased in his supply chain organic cotton, of course. And then we had a GMO test, which tested if genetically modified cotton was present in the sample or not. That created in the past already some problems, because a certain amount of contamination is quite common, especially because when you produce normal cotton as well next to organic cotton, contamination is always non-avoidable. So looking at the system as it was now, again, you had a situation where, yes, we did check if a certificate exists. The problem was that within the supply chain itself, there were big gaps because we didn't know how much was purchased, how much was sold. And at the end of the day, although we certify organic cotton GMO not detectable, we were not quite sure about if the amounts that were purchased and went through the supply chain were really 100% traceable at that stage. So if we look at organic cotton itself, what is organic cotton by definition? Organic cotton, by definition, is if it is cultivated without synthetic fertilizers, without insecticides, without herbicides, and of course, without genetically modified organisms. Next slide, please. Now let's have a quick look at the present market situation. Organic cotton, as Mark already mentioned before, organic cotton has been a synonym for sustainability, but several scandals, for example, the fake certifications in India, the forced labor in China, and so on, they questioned this to a quite great extent. And as well, recent investigations and studies also indicate that the global sales of organic cotton significantly exceeds actual production levels. That is a problem in itself. This discrepancy points to a widespread fraud in the organic cotton market, severely damaging the industry's reputation. So obviously something needs to be done about it. Next slide, please. So in order to address the problem, the one statement that is quite clear to us and that initiated the change is there is no sustainability without a transparent traceability. To ensure transparency and accountability within the organic cotton supply chain, it is absolutely essential to establish a robust fiber traceability system, and the new system is based on this traceability. These systems protect not only the interests of the organic cotton farmers and the supply chain, but as well the interests of the consumer. A consumer is willing to pay something additionally for something, so he wants to make sure that he gets what he's paying for in the instance as well. So currently, however, most traceability oversights, they stop at the chin. So in a nutshell, whenever we aim to avoid greenwashing, convey product information to consumers, comply with our own labeling standards, or follow stringent regulations, achieving these goals necessitates identifying and tracing the complex network of suppliers and manufacturers of organic cotton. There's no way around that. We have to do that. So looking at OEKO-TEX organic cotton, what exactly is OEKO-TEX organic cotton? OEKO-TEX organic cotton certification is a comprehensive fiber traceability system designed to enhance transparency and accountability through the organic cotton supply chain. OEKO-TEX organic cotton, the principles is we are testing for GMOs, genetically modified organisms, quantitative and qualitative. Now that's one of the major changes from the past. We are actually the first system that can change quantitative organic cotton, because most manufacturers of most users of organic cotton, they produce other products as well. Organic cotton is always a separate range. Most have normal cotton in their system as well. And in order to make sure that a certain amount of contamination may happen and will happen, and we can test now if conventional cotton, a genetically modified cotton present in a sample is only a contamination or if it is a deliberate mixture. At the same time, the product in consumer safety is ensured through testing for pesticides and other harmful substances, of course. Compliance with several regulations worldwide include EU REACH, US CPSIA, EU BOP regulations, and many others. Trust proven through a verified chain of custody from farm to product. This is one of the essential points. The new tool, the transaction certificates, whereby we make sure that we have a transparent situation, that everybody in the supply chain who purchase organic cotton never sells more than he actually purchases. Textiles can only be certified if all the components meet the applicable requirements. As well, very important, because organic cotton, during the process, there is other things that come to it, harmful substances. We check for those. We make sure that everything is okay. Now, the requirements for the label itself, there will be two different types of labels for organic cotton. One of them, and the first one, is 100% organic cotton. As mentioned before, it's only pre-certified OEKO-TEX organic cotton material is allowed. It is proven by transaction certificates. It is tested. GMO tests will have to certify that there is a maximum of trace contamination of genetically modified cotton in it. It's tested for pesticides, and the certificate label then will imply that the product is OEKO-TEX organic cotton. Then the second level is organic cotton blend, where you have at least 70% in weight of organic cotton in the product itself. The other 30% can be other fibers as well. It may not be conventional cotton. Conventional cotton is prohibited. You're not allowed to put it in a mixture with organic cotton. GMO test is done as well. Must prove again that the cotton content of it has a maximum of a contamination level of GMO modified cotton. And it's as well tested for pesticides, and the label will say organic cotton blended. Anything below 70% organic cotton can be certified according to standard 100, but not according to organic cotton anymore, and organic cotton is not allowed to be mentioned in the scope of the certification. Now, if you are familiar with the standard 100, everything stays the same in this respect. You still have 4 product classes for organic cotton as well, whereby class 1 with the highest level is for babies and toddlers. Class 2 is for products that are worn on with direct skin contact, like underwear and so on. Product class 3 is without direct skin contact most of the time, and class 4 is like furniture and upholstery. Appendices works exactly the same as well. You still have Appendix 4 and Appendix 6 possible, and as well as excerpts. Excerpts are, like in a standard 100 certification, are for organic cotton, OEKO-TEX organic cotton allowed as well. So this would be the time when I will hand over to my colleague, Mary Rose. Thank you very much for your attention so far.
Very well. Thank you so much, Joseph, for your presentation. I will then continue the webinar with this illustration showing the textile value chain. So to ensure product and consumer safety, textile products need to be certified according to OEKO-TEX organic cotton, and starting from the ginning of the fibers down to the manufacture of finished articles. And for the traceability of the organic cotton products, the chain of custody is verified through OEKO-TEX transaction certificates throughout the supply chain. So the entry of the OEKO-TEX certification will start at the ginning facility. So to be able to certify the ginning facility, we would require a certification, organic cotton certification of the fibers according to any of the iPhone family of standards. There we will also check the transaction between the farm, the source of the fibers, for the goods transferred from the farm to the ginning. So the transaction certificate, verifies the whole supply chain. It is issued for outgoing goods, sale of organic cotton. The traceability of the supply chain is done only through the OEKO-TEX transaction certificates. It is issued with each change of ownership and per transaction. It can only be issued based on a valid OEKO-TEX organic cotton certificate, and all the information, volumes of organic cotton transferred from one company to another. This is placed in a central database of OEKO-TEX, for better control and monitoring. So you are all familiar with the certification process for Standard 100. More or less, it's the same process also for organic cotton with a little bit of difference. So it starts with the application, you submitting us your application for the certification of your organic cotton articles. Then the application will be checked for any information that you have given, to suppliers that you have for your raw materials, the dyes and chemicals that you're using to produce your articles. And a part of that checking of application is the analysis of the supply chain. So we have to make sure that your input materials are already certified according to OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton. Input materials that are not OEKO-TEX certified will not be accepted for your certification of your articles. And here is a difference between the Standard 100 and organic cotton. The on-site visit needs to be conducted before the certification can be issued. So there, our auditors will visit will schedule the audit with you and check your facility. At the same time, at the ginning facility and spinning facilities, samples will be taken by our auditors. So this is the essential difference between Standard 100 and organic cotton audit. Again, those samples will be taken by our auditors and then sent to us for testing. For facilities after the spinning, the same procedure as Standard 100 can be done, that you send us your samples for testing. After the samples arrive at our facilities, we will start with our laboratory analysis. Their test program will be selected for your particular articles according to the information that you have given in your application form. After all the laboratory analysis, the results will be evaluated against our criteria for organic cotton, depending on the product class or the annex that you have chosen for your articles. And after positive results, so no failings of any samples, your certificate will then be issued, valid for 1 year. So on-site objectives. This is the same as the same scope as what we have for Standard 100, but we are adding the element of checking a flow of goods, input versus output, so the mass balance. We need to check whether the input materials coincide with output. Again, this information will be in the transaction certificate within our system at OEKO-TEX, so that we can monitor the mass balance of your goods. So aside from quality assurance, which is also an essential part of the audit, the checking of flow of goods, input versus output, will then be covered. I would just like to give you a pricing structure comparison for the certification of organic cotton. So here you see two columns, left and right, for the years 1 to 4. The first column to the left will show the certification of organic cotton in combination with an existing Standard 100 certification that you have. So here you will see that the price structure. So the price structure is actually broken down into the testing fee, certification fee, on-site visit or spot visit, and admin fee. So the difference between on-site visit and spot visit is that during the on-site visit, we do a regular audit, and this takes place every 3 years. The spot visit is performed between the renewal application. So in second year, third year, we will do a spot visit, focusing only on the mass balance of your organic cotton goods. So, and the second column that you see to the right shows the certification of organic cotton that is a standalone. So you don't have any existing Standard 100 certification for cotton. This will be then the more or less pricing structure for the certification of organic cotton fiber. So notice also that during the pricing of year one, P1 year one, the testing fee is not high. This is because all the testing has already been done under the Standard 100 certification. So those tests would not necessarily be need to be repeated. What we need to test, of course, to do the analysis would be on the GMO. Okay. And also on the year 4, for the on-site P1 year 4, the audit for Standard 100 and organic cotton will be combined. So you don't have to pay extra for the audit for organic cotton, separate from Standard 100. The audit can be combined into one. So there you will also have a cost saving. Okay, so buying guide and label check. So as you are also familiar with our OEKO-TEX label check, so you can always check the validity of the certificates through our OEKO-TEX label check. It shows the validity status of the certificate, the associated product class, and the description of the product. On the buying guide, you will see all those companies that are already certified according to any of our OEKO-TEX products, but we are happy to know or to inform you that there are already more than 50 companies, including ginning facilities, that are certified according to OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton. So once you start looking for alternatives for companies that have already received the OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton certification, you will find them on our buying guide. Now onto the transition period. So starting now, so we have the transition period until the end of March. Well, you have your existing Standard 100 certification for organic cotton, GMO not detectable. So we recommend that you now change to organic cotton certification. The transition is recommended to happen from now until the end of 31st of March 2025. In theory, you can still apply for the renewal of your Standard 100 certification for organic cotton, but not later than the 31st of March 2025. Because starting April 1st, 2025, any articles that contain more than 70% organic cotton will no longer be certified according to Standard 100. We will then end the transition and start certifying organic cotton according to OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton. Again, there is an advantage when you transition now until the 31st of March, and that would be the reduced certificate fee, which is valid. So we would just like to give you some of the advantages that you have with OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton. So in product and consumer safety is guaranteed through the testing that we do, intensive testing, including the GMO test, the pesticides that we test, and so on, and also the criteria catalog of organic cotton, which is, by the way, the same as Standard 100. There is no difference between the two. With the OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton, there's a prevention of fraud and greenwashing, the quality control that we do every year to check articles on the market if they comply with the criteria of the standard. This is also in place. Human rights, social responsibility, this is also covered in the OEKO-TEX Code of Conduct. You will profit from the OEKO-TEX modular system. Actually being one-stop shop, so you don't have to find other providers outside of the OEKO-TEX community to have your products or your facilities certified. You can profit from the OEKO-TEX credibility of over 30 years experience in textile and leather industry. And finally, not the least, actually, the traceability and transparency that you will have with your organic cotton products. Okay. So that actually was my last slide. So thank you so much for your attention. perhaps we have still time for a couple of questions. I would like to have you, Joseph, share our, join me now for the Q&A.
Okay, one of the questions that came in, maybe I can take that right at the beginning. 1 second. I would like to know how organic cotton certificate compares with GOTS one. How OEKO-TEX organic cotton covers social, chemical, and environmental management of the suppliers. Also, how it provides information, transparency, and traceability of a certified product. I think this is a question that will interest most of the listeners. So I will start with that one, if this is okay.
Sure.
Basically, OEKO-TEX organic cotton certification is a module of all the other OEKO-TEX products, as Mary Rose explained just before. And all the products complement each other, and credits for existing certifications is given. That means if you have a standard 100 certification and you want to have an organic cotton certification, then the standard 100 test that would be done according to chemicals and so for the organic cotton certification, of course, is credited because it's done already for the standard 100 as well. So it will definitely reduce your costs. It will reduce your complexity. So the most important difference between GOTS and the organic cotton standard would be that GOTS focuses only on organic standards, whereby would require a third-party certification for anything that's not organic in this case, and that increases the complexity and of course the cost. So with OEKO-TEX organic cotton, you simply choose another module at a minimum additional costs, and you have a great synergy effect. So that would, in my opinion, be one of the biggest advantages to go with OEKO-TEX and to stick with OEKO-TEX, because we have a solution for just about any problem. So if there's any other questions?
Yes, there is also another one, which I think I can answer. What is the frequency of audit at the facility? So as mentioned before, the regular audit will take place every 3 years. That is the 3-year cycle that we have in place for our product certification. But for organic cotton, we would have a spot visit, again focusing on the traceability of the organic cotton. We will then check the mass balance of the input versus output of your materials, organic cotton. And this is done during the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and so on renewal of your certificate.
So another one was, a part of the other question was, how do you provide information, transparency, and traceability of the certified product? This is done, as mentioned before in the presentation as well, in accordance with transaction certificates. Transaction certificates, if you a manufacturer and you buy in 1 ton of organic cotton, the transaction certificates indicate that you bought it from somebody who already has a transaction certificate themselves as well, to prove the authenticity of the product. And at the same time, we check if the buyer, the manufacturer, sells more than he actually buys. You have to buy a certain amount. If you buy 1 ton, you can never sell more than 1 ton, most probably less, because you have some waste in your production line as well. So that definitely proves the that makes the transparency and traceability of the organic cotton. The transaction certificate is the most important key about it.
We can also answer that question regarding transaction certificate. What's the mechanism to receive and issue transaction certificate under this standard? So for the issuance of the transaction certificate, a valid OEKO-TEX organic cotton certificate is required. So again, the issuance of the transaction certificate is done for outgoing products, so whenever you sell your organic cotton, but a valid organic cotton certificate must be presented. Okay, perhaps do you have another question? Let's see. Or perhaps here, there's a customer who says, we must renew in November. The OEKO-TEX Standard 100, can we do it? And is it valid for all next year? So yes, if your certificate, Standard 100 certificate will expire in November, you still have the possibility to renew Standard 100 certificate for organic cotton, and this will also be valid for another year. So because this is still within the transition period. Okay. Another question that I see, will you have a system where we put the mass balance? So we are using, we have at OEKO-TEX our central database to record all the input and output materials of the facility. So there, the data, the information is centralized. It is only within the OEKO-TEX community and not available to third parties. Okay, so perhaps this is also a good question. Is there a mandatory that all farmers and engineers must have organic OEKO-TEX certificate? So for the OEKO-TEX organic cotton, it is mandatory to have the giners certified. We are not certifying the farmers. Again, we are for the certification of the ginning facility, we require certification of the farm according to the iPhone family of standards. But the farm itself will not be certified according to OEKO-TEX organic cotton.
One question here that may be interesting is GOTS transaction certificate works for OEKO-TEX, organic OEKO-TEX or OEKO-TEX for their own system to receive and issue transaction certificate. We only accept transaction certificates from OEKO-TEX. We do not at this stage accept any transaction certificates from any other third-party certifier. So only OEKO-TEX transaction certificates are in the system and accepted at this stage. Another question, so to make it clear, after 1st of April 2025, OEKO-TEX 100 standard certificate will be only for less than 70% organic cotton, I would assume, is the question now. Yes, if you have less than 75% in cotton content in your product, you can only certify according to OEKO-TEX Standard 100. Organic cotton is not mentioned in the scope anymore.
And related to that, there's also a question, will it be allowed to keep the phrasing GMO not detectable in the regular Standard 100 certificates without calling it organic cotton? No, this will also not be specified in the scope. So again, under Standard 100, we will only certify cotton conventional.
So there is an additional question. What would be the additional costs for GMS qualitative and quantitative testing? I think you better answer that, Mary-Rose.
I don't have the amount in my head, but we would like to answer that in the Q&A document that we will provide after this webinar.
So to make one thing clear about the process, quantitative GMO testing is only necessary if the qualitative GMO testing shows a contamination, because then we need to prove that it is only a contamination and not a deliberate mixture of GMO cotton in the mix itself. So the qualitative testing is the cheaper and faster version, and we will only do the quantitative testing if there is any kind of doubt to the product.
Yes. Okay. So I think there's a lot of there are still a lot of questions coming in. So yeah, thank you so much. But I guess we can answer all of them in the Q&A document. Yeah.
The question at the there's one more question that may be quite interesting. Does it mean if OEKO-TEX 100 is expiring soon, we should now apply OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton certificate? If you have a certificate, OEKO-TEX Standard 100, GMO not detected, it is advisable to apply now during the transition period for OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton certificate, because you get, first of all, a special deal. You get a certain discount, as was mentioned before by Mary Rose as well. And it prepares you for the future, because as from April on, it is the new standard. So I would definitely recommend that if it expires now, soon, it's better to go for the organic cotton certificate immediately. You will take the synergy effect, you will take the special offer for the change. It will be a good choice. So one more question. So if one or more on the supply chain is not yet certified by OEKO-TEX Organic Cotton, then the product cannot be certified by Organic Cotton at all. Yes, that is the case at the moment. It must be 100% traceability of organic cotton from the fields to this person who, or to this company who applies for it. If there is a whole a lack of information somewhere in the supply chain, unfortunately at this stage we cannot certify. An additional question, if I certify with cotton certificate, I would assume organic cotton certificate, I should apply also for standard 100 certificate, or will it cover both scopes? That's a little bit of a more complex question, because if you apply for organic cotton only and you only produce organic cotton, then you don't need to apply for a standard 100 certificate, because organic cotton is tested exactly like standard 100 as well for the safety of the consumer. It has the same chemical process, as you just need to specify at the beginning what kind of scope you would like to certify according. You will, however, only get a certificate that says organic cotton blend. If you want the normal standard 100 certificate without organic cotton in it, you will still have to have a second certificate. But then you have the benefit of the base certificate of standard 100, and because lots of tests that are done for your standard 100 certificate don't have to be done twice for the organic cotton then, as long as it is the same kind of chemical process. Huh? So you cannot compare now and say, yeah, I have organic cotton certified, and now I want to make sure that my polyester product is certified as well under the same conditions. So if it is the same chemical process involved, that means normal cotton or organic cotton, then you will definitely have an advantage of reduced fees. The question that adds up on the one before, can I still be certified with OEKO-TEX Standard 100 but not mentioning organic cotton? Yes, of course, you can do that at any given time. A Standard 100 certification doesn't mean there's not allowed to be any organic cotton in there. Only an organic cotton certificate specifies how much organic cotton needs to be in there in order to get the certification, and that it may not be mixed.
So I think, Joseph, we have answered a lot of questions, and there are still a lot coming in. So we would love to summarize all the answers in a Q&A document for you. For you after the webinar. I think we can end this webinar. So perhaps a reminder to everyone, if you have, again, any other questions, please contact us. Your contact at OETI is Joseph, and me at TESTEX. But of course, we have our local branches, so you may always contact them, directly. But we are also here for you in case you would like to direct your questions to us.
So thank you very much for joining us, and it was a pleasure of having all of you here, and hope we will see you soon at the next seminar.
Yeah, thank you
Webinar.
also from my side, and I wish you all a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.